Sitting lonely in my room again, trying to find the words to say, but nothing comes out. I am looking for the better days, seem like they just stay away whenever I try. There's so many things that I keep in my mind. My friends keep me out and it hurts every time. With all the emotions I built up inside, oh why can't I? Will someone look for me if I disappear? No matter how much that I scream, nobody hears. But I see the light from far away, it's down the line. Maybe I should not give up without a fight, 'cause there will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time. Sitting lonely in my room again, acting like I'm innocent. Why do I try? 'Cause now I'm feeling like a fool again, thinking I can fool myself by telling me lies. When there's so many things that I keep in my mind, I hang around people I don't even like. If they can be happy and walk with a smile, oh why can't I? Will someone look for me if I disappear? No matter how much that I scream, nobody hears. But I see the light from far away, it's down the line. Maybe I should not give up without a fight, 'cause there will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time. Oh, 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 oh. There will be a time. That I scream, nobody hears. But I see the light from far away, it's down the line. Maybe I should not give up without a fight, 'cause there will be a time.
The world turns
Prepare to break the silence. I'll be out in the sunshine, running beside the lions. I've been feeling down, but I've been looking up, afraid to fall. God, I've been so down, can you pick me up? Don't let me fall. Can you show me how to fix this mess? I am down and on my knees, and I may fall as I'm so close to the end.
Dude, it's all good. I feel refreshed, man. You know, water breaks are so necessary.
How about you give us an introduction and tell us what we have to look forward to today?
Juice, if you were a fruit, what fruit would you be?
A banana?
All right, so Douglas, if you could relate yourself or your project, whichever you want to go with, to a fruit, which fruit would it be and why?
Okay, I'll go with the Eagleverse and banana.
Why
Okay,
banana,
why
bro?
Because every time I speak with H1, it feels like I'm feeling one more piece of that banana, and it keeps getting better and better.
That sounds so
That
wrong.
project is awesome. So every time you think you know it, you know everything about it, it just surprises you.
You're the kind of guy. You're the kind of guy that if you were sat in the same room, you'd be eating a banana and maintaining aggressive eye contact. That's the kind of
Forcing the entire thing into his mouth at once.
Yeah.
I think the thing that we'll focus on this week is making sure that you stretch.
I don't know. I reckon a coconut, a green one.
a green coconut. Okay, we've had coconut before, but not a green one. Why?
I don't know. You got to go through the hard stuff before you can get to the good stuff. So
Yeah, thanks for asking. I think I would say probably a mango is like a fruit that you think is like pretty good, but when you actually bite into it, you're like, oh, this is delicious and amazing. It's like I'm all about trying to make things fun, make things enjoyable, and maybe a little bit surprising. Like, you know, your own mentality can make such a big difference in your life, your positivity and stuff. And I really, really enjoy being in spaces with all the people here, the other spaces that I've been in, and learning from everybody. So I get really excited, and I hope other people do too.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? We have a jam-packed show for you. Let me just sort it out and find out where everybody is. I think everybody's set and ready to rock in Discord. Let me go. There we go. Let me unmute. There. Hello. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Let me just sort out the audio real quick because I think that's a little bit low. So welcome to the show, everybody. We have awesome guest on today. Fizz, who do we have, man?
We've got two amazing guests today from two amazing collections, and one of them's from AVAX and one of them from Solana. So this is going to be kind of a big NFT episode. We've got Trek from the Legion of Soul. It's a brand new collection that just sold out on Solana. I got several of them, and I'm going to give away one of mine today. And then we've also got Gabe Weiss from Conscious Lines. I know that you guys have seen a lot of the from Conscious Lines and the Stoics, and Gabe had a collection over on ETH that I think is so far done 700 ETH in volume. So we are extremely happy, lucky, excited to have all of these folks that are on today. Thank y'all for showing up.
That's pretty impressive, bro. 700 ETH. That's good. That's crazy. Definitely. Shout out to Gabe.
I am actually messaging Gabe right now, and we're trying to link up some logistics. And we're gonna try to get him in here and get him on video. But guys, what's I've been kind of out of pocket for a little bit, and you guys have been killing it, doing a great job with the show. I just wanted to thank you guys for doing such a great job in my absence.
It's been difficult without you, man. Like, you know, you've got to be here with us at the end of the day, and you know, life takes precedence naturally. But you know, we've done all right without you, but it's not the same without you, man.
Well, thank you. I really do appreciate it. It's good to be back.
We're happy to have you back, dude, and I'm sure everybody else is happy to see you back as well.
Yeah, man. It's really good to have you back pulling some strings behind the scenes. It's really nice to have guests when I don't have to ask them on Twitter immediately, especially when you're pulling people like Gabe and Trek down there. So I really appreciate it, bro.
Let's kind of get started.
Before you do,
Sorry.
I do apologize. There seems to be a problem with the audio. I don't know why there is a problem with the audio, but I've had to increase the gain so that everybody at home can hear it. But I'm struggling to hear myself. I've got everything on maximum. So if I do say what a lot, I do apologize. But I think the audio should be okay for everybody at home. But if there's any problems, I'll let you know. But yeah, they're telling me it's okay now in the chat. So yeah, how weird. It's been working fine for weeks and now it's decided to start playing up. How weird. So yeah, sorry, Fizz, carry on, man.
Well, if we've got all the audio issues worked out, I'm really ready to jump right in and talk to Trek, talk about kind of what his background is, what his history. Go ahead and tell us first about your Legion of Soul collection. Tell us everything that we need to know. Obviously, if you're listening to this, you've missed your chance. They are all minted out, and you will have to get one on the secondary market now. So, yeah, let us know. Let us know everything from the art to the community. The community is lit. They're really, really, really a great community. They're real responsive. You kind of control them all like the master puppeteer, and they you say do this, and they do it. And so that's some control.
I don't view myself like I don't want to view myself like that. But so where should I begin? My background, where I started
tell us
before
about your
crypto,
background.
or should I jump into the project first?
Yeah, tell us about your background.
Yeah, so I'm pretty young. I'm 27 years old. This is my second crypto project in 3 years. I've worked with my partner Stones for 3 years, the same co-founder through both projects. And yeah, we have a really tight-knit bond. And that's my background in this space. Before I was a founder and worked in this space, I was an investor and finance oriented. That's my background before I got into crypto. I was a loan officer. I brokered loans for 3 or 4 years. And before that, I was pretty much a degenerate in college. So I'm fairly young. That's my background. I've been in the space for a few years. And yeah, Legion of Soul is our second project that we're trying to get kicked off.
Well, I would say this. You're not trying. You actually got it kicked off. That's one. Can we talk about that first project you was on and where you got all your experience from?
Yeah, so without going into too much details, because we actually are making a docs event, because we didn't want our first project, our stories, because we were fully doxed from the beginning on our first project. So we didn't want that to overshadow our come up with Legion, because we were grassroots on our first project and took it pretty damn far, if I'm being honest. So yeah, but the first project, we had an NFT marketplace on a small blockchain, and we took it from a $25,000 seed round to $800,000 in liquidity in 6 months, a 1.3 mil market cap, onboarded about 150 artists. We upgraded the standards to the chain because we were building so fast and growing so much. We were actually developing the future standards for the NFT contracts on that blockchain. So to give you perspective, yeah, like my partner, we're very, 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 very familiar with NFTs, how they go down, marketplaces, artists, the whole 9 yards. We've experienced it. You're pretty much at the beginning of NFTs, and now we're trying to take our knowledge from our first project, our experience, our coding skills, the whole 9 yards. And again, we've met a lot of artists throughout the years, so we were able to pretty much, I don't know how to put it, we're able to, I don't know what's the word for it, leverage our artists, our knowledge, our skills for Legion on Solana, take it to a new level.
Yeah, and real quick, guys, just wanted to add this in before you guys do thing. I asked just because you and Stones are like yin and fucking yang, bro, and I know you guys are like a very small team, but y'all move like it's a lot of y'all, and the way you conduct yourself in the project, and the amount of delivery, that isn't no rookie based thing. Like, you guys definitely got skin in the game. So I just wanted to ask that, to see where you guys got your experience from. So thank you for elaborating.
It's important though, like I try to emphasize this. I don't want to come off cocky or like, yeah, we did this before. Like, no, like this is why we don't want to talk about our first project, because we really want it to be about Legion, what we're doing and what we can do, because people overshadow things and we want people to talk about what we're building, and because what we're building here is really big.
Yeah, which is totally understandable. Shout out to you for doing that. But essentially, it's not easy what you guys are doing. So, I don't think it's a cocky thing. It's nothing wrong with being confident, and just thank you for letting us know that. Just knowing where you got your skill, your background from. So it's just dope knowing that we got people that knowing they know what the fuck they're doing. And I would shut up now because I could just keep rambling. I just woke up and I got the coffee in me. But go ahead, guys.
Yeah, and it's
Well, I
not
think
all
we just-
positive. If I could give perspective, yeah, on the first project, I mean, we found a lot of success, but it was our first project. At the time, I was, 23, 24 when we first found the project. I didn't know much, nor did my partner Stones. It was our first go around, and to be honest, we found a lot of luck early on. Like, we just started to get so much traction. Yeah, the project ended up not working out after like a year. We tried growing, we hired more developers, and we got in over our head thinking we could compete with like the likes of OpenSea, Magic Eden. Like, I'm telling you, we've learned a lot. We've seen failure as well as point. Like, we've seen success, we've seen failure in a matter of 3 years on the first project, and it was honestly a really humbling experience. To tell you the truth, that's really what I want people to take away.
Right, and for that being your first project, like, you gotta shoot for the moon and aim for the stars, bro. You can't limitate yourself. You gotta go hard or go home, and that's essentially what you guys did. And for your first project and the numbers you guys did, that's impeccable, bro. So shout out to you guys for doing that and accomplishing that.
Well, I think we just had Gabe show up. So let's go ahead and ask Gabe to tell us a little bit about his project. I'm really excited about both of these projects because I don't know what you would classify the demons as, but it was not. You can tell that they're not generative. You can tell that an artist has actually put those pieces together, just like Gabe's pieces that are all unique from both Conscious Lines and his Stoics NFT collection that's coming out. Gabe, tell us about your experience having such a successful ETH collection, and then what that's been like moving over to AVAX.
It's been a fun ride so far, that's for sure.
Good.
Yeah, so I don't know. I've been on AVAX for less than 10 days now. Maybe 10 days exactly. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I come from ETH the last year and a half, so I got in last February, and just connected through Clubhouse with a lot of people and just kind of been riding the wave and momentum for about a year and a half now, having stupid amounts of fun, going to like over 100 NFT events. So yeah, really happy to be here, answer any questions, and I think the collection that I'm releasing, I like it. This is my drawings from the last 16 years, kind of all put together into one little collection.
Tell us about the difference between Conscious Lines and the Stoics collection. Tell us what as an artist, where were you when you were putting together these two collections?
This Lines is actual ink on paper drawings that I did over years, like I said, and Stoics is a generative. They were hand drawn digitally, and then it kind of has different layering and bunch of cool different backgrounds, so they're all kind of more like a one of one. This Conscious Lines is going to have edition sizes, so there are 35 one of ones in the collection. There's also like 5 of 5s and 3 of 3 like edition sizes of some of the drawings, and it comes from I think it's 135 or 140 drawings. Don't quote me on that. The Conscious Lines has 7 that are kind of the super rare alpha, avalanche alpha ones that have the red triangle on them. And for those, I'm going to hold something just like this with just those 7 holders once a month, is kind of my plan, and sending them the actual drawing. Stoics is, I spent a year kind of developing it. It's very much a PFP. It's very gamified. So there's a genie in there, and if you get the genie, you get to come to my art studio and pick out any painting that you want. And lately, my work's been going for like 60,000. So, I mean, it's like I have a couple paintings here right currently that I think would probably go for 80 to 100,000 sort of thing. So I think it's a cool win for someone who happens to get that one. I could go into it, but kind of here for Avalanche. I would just say like one thing is more gamified, has 5,000, and kind of will always have like a pretty big team around it. I view Conscious Lines as like an art collection that I'm going to build momentum on. I think I'm kind of the canary in the coal mine in a lot of ways for a lot of my friends and whatnot from ETH. They're kind of like, go try it first. You be the brave one. So if it hits, then I'd love to stay in Avalanche and have a ton of fun. Like so far, the people are so warm. It's just, if everything I do here this current collection, I think if you look at, it changes since I woke up perhaps, but like at least yesterday, I think I was releasing, even though it's expensive at 5 Avalanche for the ecosystem, I think it's like $500 below my floor on ETH. So one of these things where I'm like, people are like, it's expensive. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you if it's like 400, 500% below my floor on ETH. It's like, if it doesn't work, but I'm very confident it will, then it's, it sends a signal to my friends that maybe give the ecosystem more time, but I'm pretty
jump on in, the water's warm.
Yeah.
Can I
Well, I guess as I'm listening to you describe it, it's a little bit of difference between building a community around a project and selling art. And it looks like you're getting to focus on both of them.
Yeah. But like I will say, I'm not opposed to doing the community, but almost to the point that you guys were just talking about. Anyone in NFTs that give like 2-year roadmaps or 1-year roadmaps, given how much this ecosystem changes, I'm kind of more of like build it. I mean, this has a 500 AVAX floor within a month. It's like, sure, big community all around it. I'll hire some staff and we'll do some crazy stuff with it. If it's just an art collection that people love but hold in their wallets, it just leads to something else. So I think, to me, it's a little bit. I just sometimes think people, because of how quickly the space moves, they sometimes overpromise and underdeliver, and I've seen it a lot in NFTs, and I just don't like to. I don't want to be in that position.
Switching over to Trek real quick to talk about community building. You've been extremely successful at your community building efforts. What are some of your what do you attribute a lot of that success to?
So, one, my first project, I would attribute all that success to how I can community build, how to keep my control with anger, how to identify a troll, bot, my patience level, and just wanting to work with people. Like before I did this, I brokered loans and got people, in the houses. Like I was your loan officer you actually liked. I would get love letters from people saying, wow, you saved me from a mortgage that was screwing me for 10 years. So like stuff that would make me cry. So it's just being able to relate with people and being active and want to be a part of the community. Like the community has to be your family. You have to view it as that, as an extension, and the people will treat you as family. It's simple as that. Like when you said, oh, well, you say something, they do it. Man, I don't view my community like that. That's like, I hate when people get so big and their ego is like, it's not cool. I view my community as equals. That's how it should be. And I think that's why I get the respect given back.
One of the things that I noticed about Legion, and one of the reasons that I did jump into it kind of without hesitation, is it seemed like even though you were still minting, you had a lot of features in place. You've got the staking, you've got the website it's better than most crypto websites. You had a lot of these things right off the bat where a lot of projects kind of tend to promise and build those out. Do you think that had a big contribution to your success?
Oh, of course. Again, half the success goes to my co-founder Stones, who develops all these things. When I tell him we need this, he builds it. Like there's a big difference. And when you have a skilled coder who knows what they're doing in this space and knows how to do contracts, it's not that hard. The hard part's building front end for most of these things. So we have that ability to leverage an actual developer, not outsource it, and actually build when someone says we want something. And we already had a large vision of what's going to come. We were only a slowman, not of choice. We already had all these things on the roadmap: a marketplace, staking, raffles, merch, collabs, like using our token. All that was already in the map. It just looks like, oh, well, how come they're doing it before others? Because we were a slow mint, because we didn't use a launch. We didn't choose to go through Magic Eden or some scummy project that's going to take 30% of our cut for our NFTs, because we've been there before. We knew we could do it grassroots. We knew we could do it. We knew it's not pretty, but a grassroots community is the strongest community, and that's how you grow. And we knew that. So going in, that's how we have all these things. And now we're literally selling our farms as a service, our staking service. That's our largest thing. We literally have people coming to our website, and instead of just, oh, I want to ape in and buy art, they're looking, oh, these people have farms, other projects on their website. They could get our token, participate in our ecosystem, and we're leveraging that out using a profit share model. So now our stakers
are now getting 70% of every project on board, every fee we accumulate when a person creates a vault. This is for every single project. And it sounds like we're price gouging, like, oh, this sounds like grimy, but our fees are 80% cheaper than the competition. So we're actually doing projects a favor, giving them exposure. And every project we've launched using our staking is up to 3 to 4x in 2 to 3 days. Like, it's actually kind of ridiculous, the ecosystem effect.
All right, Gabe, you are an artist first. What can you tell us a little bit about your support system that you have of tech folks around you? What does your team look like?
So it starts very much with my wife, who does all the tech. I have done almost no technology so far in my year and a half in NFTs. Each kind of their own, but I really make the art and do the networking side. And she handles a lot of the tech on my ETH project Stoics. It's a large team. Got a couple devs on it. They've built projects before. So feel very confident in them. A couple other projects I've worked on. Luckily I have some of the best devs in ETH, like Solidity devs that are some friends. So I've never been personally good at any of that stuff, but I mean, I have my own custom contract on Manifold. I'm really into making sure that all the stuff kind of is as nice as possible from the contract side. But yeah, not my bread and butter.
Well, Priest has got a background in art history, and I think he was boning up on some of his old textbooks last night to come up with some questions to ask you. But I know
that is true, actually.
He's been kind of geeking out the last couple of days, excited about both of you guys coming.
So I don't have art history questions for Legion of Soul. I have like nerdy gamer questions for you, Trek. But for Gabe, when I look at the Stoic, your whole catalog there, it reminds me a lot of Cubism. Where did you bring in the regenerative aspects during your art process, and like what were your inspirations? I mean, I'm sure I'm probably wrong in some capacity, but I would like you to explain more on the art side of why you make what you make in on the Stoic side, and then with Conscious Lines, clearly that's what you've been drawing, and what's the difference between those two?
Yeah, so Stoics is generative in the sense of all the little boxes, and yes, it's very much cubism. So every little cube or weird shape within the Stoics can get turned into different things. So I got pretty popular during the pandemic of like drawing on cereal boxes or old dictionaries or phone books type of thing. So I wanted to kind of bring that feel into the project. So the Stoics has quite a bit of like those tied in, like music sheets, currency, things that make it like a collage sort of. There's also 1,000 that are animated out of the 5,000. So I mean, one is just a labor of love, but it's working with the team for 6 months. Like the Stoics is an incredibly hard thing to pull off. I think it's kind of the first of its kind from a generative art standpoint. And then Conscious Lines, I'm not being cocky, just realistically, like I love drawing ink on paper, but when you can sell paintings for 60,000 that take you the same amount of time as a 8.5 by 11 white piece of paper, that it just doesn't have a market. Like, I don't know if any artist on the planet that draws like that can get 60,000 for it, but if there is, it's a very, very small amount of people. So I mean, the conscious line was built in literally me going to political and community organizing meetings for 16 years, always having like a something to draw on, like a clipboard with like nice paper. And some of those are 4 or 5 hour meetings where I do one drawing. Whereas,
So it
yeah,
sounds like Conscious Lines is like the ability for you to put out what's been your labor of love and not worry about making money on it. Why? Because it's on AVAX. Am I right?
I mean, I think that's a big part of it. And just trying, if I'm doing the exact same thing that I'm doing over at ETH, it just like for a fifth of the money, that doesn't seem like a smart use of branding or pretty much anything. So this kind of black and white line drawing is something I really love. I mean, it's probably what I'm most famous for when I go around to events. I draw these kind of things for people and they love it. So, yeah, I don't one just is like really personal to me, the drawing. The other thing is just like a really cool NFT project that I think, in my not so humble opinion, has really good art. But like that's even just one component of the whole collection.
So Trek and Echelon, one of the things I wanted to ask you guys about the Legion is now, did you use like 4 different artists for that? Was that like a collaboration from 4 different entities?
Oh, and real quick before Trek go, I'm a big supporter of Trek. We're doing something with Trek, but I'm not a part of the Legion team.
Okay.
Yeah, so our lead artist and also my cousin now is actually Bushido is his alias. He is responsible for all the art you see. So it is a generative collection. So we did have Stones make an algorithm and randomize about 25 backgrounds, 106 traits that he all hand did. He hand did all the traits you see, but it is a generative collection in that sense. Yeah, 10K generated through Bushido's whole entire art. And he actually has another collection coming with our collab through Scully's 2,500, 3,000 holder collection. Very huge collection. We have a airdrop with them, and Bushido's also doing. So he's responsible for all of it. He's the talent. Art Stones is the man behind the scenes, doing all the hard work, and I'm the one who just pretty much just gives everyone a voice the whole entire time.
So, Gabe, what's coming up next for you? I know you've got the Stoics, and I know you've got Conscious Lines both launching in the next like 30 days. What are you going to take a break after that, or what are you to get into next?
I have so much crazy stuff lined up. I just got asked to do a paint party in it's like a jet, but we're gonna go to zero gravity. So it's like the test center at a part of like the Kennedy Space Center. And they're raising a bunch of money for, I think it's St. Jude. But they just asked me yesterday, so I'm gonna be like floating on a jet in a spacesuit drawing.
So you're going on the Vomit Comet?
Awesome.
What's that?
You're going on the Vomit Comet.
Exactly. That's what the guy even said. It's like, if you don't worry, if you throw up, like we just scoop it right out of the air.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing to see. If nobody knows what he's talking about, over at the Kennedy Space Center, NASA send up, I believe it's a 747 or a modified 747, but where they basically go into a parabolic maneuver where it allows people to be weightless for a certain amount of time to simulate being in space, and they call it the Vomit Comet. Amazing stuff. I'm jealous, bro. I'm jealous.
I think it's pretty pricey, and then like having some VIP reception at the Kennedy Space Center, and the guy was like, "You don't know how much people pay for this," and I'm like, "All right, giddy up, I guess." Guess I'm throwing up on a rocket.
Art takes you fun places.
Art takes. So I have that. I got a couple shoes coming out. I have. I've recently been hanging out with this guy, who, Mr. Choi. He actually, looking at it, he's the CEO of the Korea Herald. But he wants to put on some big NFT events in South Korea. So, I mean, I'm going to take a little break because the pace I'm on this last week, trying to do 2 projects at once, is kind of absurd. But, you know, I work hard generally. So,
Hey,
and
hey, Fizz, can I ask Gabe a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Gabe. So, first off, congratulations for your success. I'm glad you decided to come over here on Avalanche with your dope pieces. I personally want to know, like, what's the difference you noticed between launching a collection on on ETH and on AVAX?
I mean, right now it's just the community, basically, in the sense of like Joe Pegs is handling like I gave them the JSON files and did all of the traits and all of that, but they're doing the dev side. But so for me, everything is really the community, and like ETH right now has a lot more money in it, obviously, but like I feel like people here are hungrier and more into the tech. I think ETH is like more into the culture, whether that's degenning or art. This feels a little bit more on the tech side, and then it's like been this weird combo of like the most excited people have ever gotten for my work, the most kind, sharing it, being amazing. And then there's about 10 trolls within the ecosystem so far, when like I haven't dealt with one troll in a year and a half of ETH. And kind of because of Clubhouse and just talking to people for hours upon hours, I think I was always just given the benefit of the doubt. Versus here, it's kind of like few people, not all by any means, have just kind of come in and assumed the worst or tried to talk shit right away. Like, you just met me. At least give me 2 weeks before you FUD this.
So when you were looking at all of the different chains, I assume you looked at several different chains before settling on AVAX. What are some things that you noticed about the other chains when you were out there looking at places?
I mean, I think as an artist in NFTs, you're kind of, when you do collections, because royalties are forever, you're really taking a bet on a blockchain. Like Tezos has done a lot better than Avalanche as far as cultivating an artist community, and like art sales even are a lot higher there. But if I had to guess what's around in 10, 20 years, like I have a lot more faith in Avalanche. I think it scales really well. I think I come from politics, right? And I think sometimes in this space, people have this assumption that it's just going to be one currency, one rule all around the world. And I think Avalanche has a little bit better understanding with subnets, and that, you know, certain blockchains might have different utility, different rules. I think that's just kind of a better understanding of the world that we live in. So those are, and then, I mean, I probably, between some airdrops I did and then all the NFTs I bought, I'm sure I got up to about 100 grand in gas last year, which just feels like super wasted money. So on this collection doesn't have a lot of tech side, but like I'm meeting already with some of the top devs in Avalanche, which is to say, like, my next stuff will probably have more of a component that utilizes the fact that it doesn't cost so much in gas. So whether that's like a burn mechanism or something with airdrops or maybe, free mint, whatever the dynamic is. I think it is easier to do some of these stuff, and that's what I'm excited about. That is the next stage. This collection's more about culture and seeing if there's a place for kind of um, fine art, I guess, on the chain.
Trek, what about you guys? How did you settle on Solana?
Well, that's an easy question. Solana, in my opinion, I hate ruffling feathers in space, but when it comes to NFTs, Solana's the best. They have the best ecosystem, the best onboarding. It's easiest for even compared to ETH. If you tell a new user, hey, go to App Store, download a Phantom wallet, I'll send you an NFT. You can have them go to App Store, download Phantom wallet, and you can send them an NFT, and this user, it pops up on Phantom wallet. You don't have to import a contract or do any of that nerdy stuff. And from that wallet, you could send them like 10 cents in gas. And from Phantom wallet, you could list the NFT, you could burn a rug token, get paid for it. Like the Solana ecosystem has mapped out NFTs much, much better than any other blockchain. On top of that, we have prior experience working on a inferior blockchain on our first, and we had to develop NFTs from scratch on that chain, build a marketplace, build viewers. And I'm telling you, we already had the foresight back seeing the world like crumble around us, that if you don't have a standardized NFT standard where all projects conform, well, yeah, you can all have your own royalties, you can all do your own different thing, but it's all the same standard. So when you mint an NFT, it shows up in your wallet because everybody's running the same language. You understand? Call it centralized, call it what you want. But in terms of if you want onboarding, you want people using the NFTs, looking at them, listing them, trading them, Solana is number one by a mile. Not even a debate. Like, it's, in my opinion, once you use all of them, you understand, like, wow, these people have the idea of NFTs thought out much better than everybody else. It's the truth, and people just don't like to admit it because they're mad.
I will agree with you that I was very impressed with my experience using Phantom Wallet with Legion of Soul. To get on there, mint several NFTs, and then all of a sudden inside your native app, it shows you your collection. I agree with you that really, really, really got my attention and was a really good feature.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you, Fizz. Like me, using MetaMask for however long I've been on crypto. Me using Phantom Wallet the other day just through Legion, I was just like, yeah, bro, MetaMask needs to step their shit up. I'm there with you.
But like, I got a question.
It's a nightmare on so many different chains. Having to go to 7 or 8 different places just to see all your NFTs.
How does so Legion attract? How did the hack of the Phantom wallet affect your minting? Right, because that happened around the same time, right? Because you were dealing with that during your minting cycle. What? I could be wrong. I think that is. So, like, how did that affect you? Did it affect you? And how did you handle that with your community?
Yeah, so education is very important. So it was a compromise, not with Phantom Wallet or even the blockchain. So every blockchain can have this issue. It's called a wallet drainer. So imagine having your email Web 2, and people send you spam email with a phishing link. It's the same thing in Solana. You have your public wallet address, buy something off Magic Eden, a bot will send you a Magic Eden ticket, degen ticket, click this. And your wallet could get compromised by interacting with those apps, malicious code. So a lot of people get wrecked in this ecosystem just because they don't know, and that's usually how they learn. And the other one, the most recent one you heard about, was Slope Wallet had Schwap code and had everybody's public keys basically on a public file that could be cracked. And yeah, that had nothing to do with Phantom, nothing to do with the blockchain. That was just Slope Wallet, one of the first Solana wallets, just pretty much having scrubby code.
So that's why it makes sense that people who are complaining about stuff with their Phantom is they probably actually had that other one previously in linked accounts or something, maybe.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what happened. It even happened to my partner. He got drained with his first wallet on Solana for like, I mean, for like $40. But yeah, he got drained. This happened to like I think 9,000 people, and a lot of people who were initially on Solana and had a Slope wallet and connected it with their Phantom. But yeah, that had nothing to do with Phantom. That would have happened to any wallet.
Awesome. So that's one of the things that I kind of like to have people from different ecosystems come on. It's because we get to ask that question from somebody who's within that ecosystem, right? Like a lot of us came from different chains to start with, and we all have like the growing pains that you kind of have to deal with. And unless you know somebody that's gone through it, you kind of don't necessarily get like that firsthand information. So thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Gabe, I was asked to ask you about Stoicism because one of the people who I'm friends with is really big into art, and they texted me while we were on the pod, and they said, "Ask Gabe about Stoicism. I think Conscious Lines is very Stoicism." So I'm gonna take this opportunity to ask that.
Yeah, I mean, Tim Ferriss, I don't know if people know him, but his podcast kind of turned me on to it 4 or 5 years ago, and then I'll be honest, like I liked what it was saying, but I hadn't given it deep study or anything. And then I think it was like maybe even a Sam Harris podcast or something. Like a month into the pandemic, it was like you're gonna like this is gonna be a challenge. Like how do I kind of train my brain to be okay with what's about to happen? And so Stoicism to me is about kind of adapting and like understanding that you control your own brain when it like you can't control the world on the outside, but what you can control is like how you like what lens you look at it and like what you're gonna do about it. And either it's kind of like you can sit and moan or you can do something about it and make sure you put your best foot forward type of thing. And so it's something I think is really needed in this space. There's so many highs and so many lows, and both aren't necessarily great. It's like I don't know. There's just been some manic parts where like my Bored Ape was worth 300-400 grand at one point, and you're like, everything is great. And then if a Bored Ape goes down a lot, it's like people get all sad sort of thing. And I think, I've seen so many artists kind of burn out so far in this space because they get some momentum for a while, then lose it, and it's just bad for their mental health. So I personally think the space needs a ton of stoicism. And so if I can kind of put a spotlight on it through some of my collections, something that I'm always trying to push the space to it's not like I'm against degen stuff, but it's not also like where I want to spend a ton of my energy.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I think it's interesting to see people who are artistic express themselves in a similar way when we talk about trying to water the grass where you are, right? Like try to put your best foot forward and work through those hard times. So it's kind of interesting to see how people utilize their best mediums of communication to express similar things, even though we're very different in the way we do things. So I kind of appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, I did a lot, like I said, a lot of these drawings on phone books and stuff to show people like when they couldn't get to art stores necessarily, like that shouldn't stop them from making art. And so that's why I really incorporated all that into my project, The Stoics. It's like this vibe of like no excuses, just make art.
I like that. So you had a little bit different way of doing your whitelist tickets. How did you get the inspiration for the hugs?
Someone like my first day said that to me. I never heard the term. Like, are you doing a whitelist, an allow list, a a hug list. I was like, I've never heard hug list, but it just, I feel like if anything that like makes me laugh, almost just typing it or saying it, like feels like it needs to be part of the thing. So I it's the same thing I've done through my whole ETH kind of NFT career so far. Is like I never really put prices out there. I just say DM me for details, and that gives me a chance to have a relationship with potential collector, and it kind of weeds out the people that are just flipping to make like just a quick buck versus the people that like the art. And if not to say I'm against flipping in this game, if you can build a collector base that's more appreciative of the art, you can just have higher floor prices. So, and you know, you don't have this race to the bottom like a lot of people had when this market crashed. Like I talked to my number 2 collector on ETH, studies all of this art. He's just like, you're one of the only artists within NFTs whose floor went up during all of this. And I think it a little bit speaks to the fact that most of my collectors actually liked the art and had a relationship with me. So on Conscious Lines, I've kind of just said the most active people on Twitter will get on the hug list. But I also am doing it different in that it's not a guaranteed mint. It's just my way of beating the bots. I'm still gonna have a 20 max mint. So if you're on the list, you'll be able to mint 20 if time permits, sort of thing. But I kind of wanted to do a little bit of price discovery within the ecosystem. And like I said, it's 500 below my floor. So if it doesn't sell out right away, I kind of get the impression that the ecosystem isn't quite ready. But so far, yeah, a lot of DMs out there. Everyone seems very enthusiastic to mint. So a little bit different, but because it's kind of almost all hand-picked people except for a few giveaways, I think for the most part it is people that will appreciate it and that I know at a minimum like have communicated that they appreciate the art.
May I shamelessly ask for a hug list position, even if it's just for an IRL hug when you're in DC?
Where's my place?
Please, just right now, before it gets crazy, if you can just send me a DM with your wallet address. Anyone hearing this, please do that today. We're kind of closing up the hug list, but very happy to put everyone onto it here. And I just am upfront that I've seen a lot of NFT projects. They might get a lot of people on the whitelist or whatever, but if it doesn't have momentum in that first hour, then like no one mints, sort of thing. And so, I think it goes well, but it's like the people that are there right at the first minute that it opens are the ones putting more risk on the line. So I want to make sure that they're rewarded. If they want 20, like let them have 20, and let the people that were kind of waiting to see if it takes off, like if they don't get one and they have to buy it on the secondary, then that's the cost of not being as early of a supporter.
Jump in. I just wanted to say, more and more I listen to Gabe. I like what you're saying. You've definitely been in the space. I could tell from what you say. You definitely have been around the block more than once, which is very reassuring to hear. I like hearing that from founder project.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I've pretty much lived NFTs for a year and a half. I've gone to pretty much every event that I possibly could. Kind of my connections with the space are pretty unparalleled from an artist standpoint, at least. And between living on like Clubhouse for like 18 hours a day for 3 months, I feel like I got like a master's degree in NFTs last year. And now I'm just kind of taking, I mean, I used to run multi-million-dollar campaigns here in California, and so I've kind of just taken NFTs as a campaign of like, how do you maximize what you do and get as many people on board as possible? So I really appreciate you saying that. I do, you know, I do take all this seriously and give it a ton of thought. I've always been kind of a strategist. For a couple of years, I was a professional poker player. So it's like really, at some points in life, I was one of the better fantasy football players on the planet. It's like I like to, when I jump into something, I go kind of all in, and so
You sound a lot like me. Yeah, and I could tell just from how you talk that you mean what you're saying. Like you don't need to think about it. I've been in this space, and you learn a lot of these things so quickly. Like a year and a half in crypto is 10.5 years in regular business. Anybody will tell you that, and I could just tell from how you talk, what you're saying, the background. You don't need to sell me. It's quite convincing.
I appreciate that.
So
It's
we
actually
really
my favorite part of.
go ahead.
Oh yeah, I
It's
just
actually my
wanted.
favorite part of.
I just personally wanted to know how low. I think all of us got questions for you, but Ed Trek too. But you personally, Gabe, I want to know how long have you been mastering your craft? Like what year did you start getting into like doing art?
I mean, I took like AP art in high school and then painted a little bit in college and kind of always did it a tiny bit. Um, and I was drawing a ton for the last 16 years, but I never, until 6 years ago, I'd never shown it to anyone. I had an experience with ayahuasca about 6 years ago.
No freaking way! I've got something to tell you about when you finish telling your story. Sorry, go on.
So I don't even know who's all listening, but this is part. I mean, I've been on many spaces and told this story, so it's out on it's in the interwebs anyway, and I got nothing to hide. But yeah, I did ayahuasca about 6 years ago. I had this crazy vision of becoming like a famous artist, but it was like it's hard to describe how clear this vision was, and I had never shown my art anywhere, so it was like seemed so random. But I just opened an IG account right after that, just started putting it out there, got a lot of traction. And then last February had another experience, another vision, and then the very next day I learned about NFTs. So I've only had two of these things, I guess three in my whole life, these visions, and two of them involved like becoming a famous artist, and one of them happened the day before I learned about NFTs, and within like a month of knowing about NFTs, I think I was at least like a top 50 selling NFT artist in the world. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I've just been on a rocket ship for a year and a half and enjoying the ride.
So if you're lost in life and you don't really know what you're supposed to be doing, just trip some balls and hope that
Throw up for hours.
reveals the path.
So no, what I wanted to say, based on what you were saying there, my brother-in-law Keith Waring, he's got a channel, Keith's Crypto Trades, and that is quite funny because he started reading a book called Becoming Superhuman, and he also decided to experiment with ayahuasca, and he ended up having an experience based on that, and now he's bought the land next to his house. They're expanding it, they're turning it into a retreat, all of this kind of stuff. He doesn't even know why he's doing these things. It's just that like he's now doing them, and manifestation and all of that kind of stuff. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, but but that's the same direction. As soon as you mention that, it's like, oh my god, I keep finding all of these people that are doing ayahuasca and then literally just making their dreams come true. I need to start taking this stuff.
Wait. Aaron Rodgers also took ayahuasca this past year, and he grew his hair out real weird, looked like Nick Cage and Con Air, and then got a weird tattoo on his arm that doesn't make a lot of sense. So not everybody becomes Gabe, right, or your brother-in-law.
I'm the biggest Packers fan you ever met, and so I was secretly excited when all my friends were giving me shit, like you and Aaron Rodgers, buddy, and I'm like.
So are you from that area? You sound kind of like you're from Minnesota.
Yeah, well, I went to University of Wisconsin in Madison. I'm from Illinois originally, but yeah, I went to college in Wisconsin. I'm also nasally because it's early and I was out drinking till like 3 in the morning. So 4 hours of sleep makes me sound like I'm from Minnesota.
So we've got three of you guys. We've got Gabe, and we've got Trek, and we've got Echelon, and all of you have had successful collections on different chains. What would you tell me about each of the different types of collectors that are on Solana, AVAX, and Ethereum? Anybody can take that. Everybody take that one.
You know, I think on every chain, right? And this is general, but I'll say it. I feel like, you got your degens that's in it just to make a quick flip. You got your people that's long-term holders that actually appreciate what you're doing and is there for, long-term value. You got your people that's there midterm. I think we have a wide range of that on like every type of chain. And on Avalanche specifically, right now with the market conditions, everybody's just trying to look for a flip to, regain, their losses from whatever that may be. And Avalanche, we experienced like between December and a few months after December, I'll say to like, April while the bull run was still here. There was a lot of rugs that had came in and out. So a lot of people had took some losses. And, right now, I think people are more on the degen side of it, but we starting to slowly transition into people who actually appreciate projects for what they're doing in art in total. So that's what I would say.
I can jump in and give an answer for Solana specifically because they do have I've noticed a giant difference in community because I worked on a smaller chain, built one from scratch. The major difference I see in Solana is that they are almost so desensitized to people getting rug pulled, to rug projects, scams, to wallet drains, to this, that. It almost, like, there's been so many times where I've thought, like, wow, Solana's getting really bad press right now. Their chain's down, and, like, their community is resilient. Like, I really, like, can't believe it. Like, Solana has had issues, and they overcome it every time. And when it comes to the NFT side of buying, I agree with E that you have, like, the spectrum, the flippers, the people who aren't really flippers, they're in the middle, and then the long-term holders. But each chain has a spectrum of that. Like the smaller chains have more of the flippers, and the larger of a chain you get less flippers and more people who are long-term holding, more people who believe in the chain because they think the chain's going to be there. Because you got to think about it. If you're building on a smaller chain and you're building a project, a lot of these people have to be in the mind of a flipper because they don't even know if the chain you're building on will even be there 2 months from now. So a lot of people don't even understand those dynamics at play. Like, this is why I think so many people are they like gather around Solana when it's having issues because it's happened so many times. They've overcame it. And I'm not even trying to make excuses for them. Like, it's kind of ridiculous how many times their transactions per second get like unstable. Like, it's honestly ridiculous, but you wouldn't hear that from the community. They're always shilling it, saying it's the best. And Coalesce, which I have noticed Solana is very strong in regard more than others.
Gabe, you've got literally two different collections launching on AVAX and ETH. I know you kind of touched on this, but what are some of the main differences in that you've noticed as you're marketing? Really, I mean, your work in two different ways. So, in two different collections, what's something that you noticed about the difference between the collectors?
I mean, like I said, I think some of it is just liquidity. Like a lot of my collectors got ETH when it was $100, so they're sitting on ton of liquidity, even if the market's down. I think Avalanche, it's just 5 AVAX is a very expensive mint here, whereas if I put something up for that price on ETH, it would sell out instantaneously, type of thing, because people would be like, it's so much less money than we're used to. So right now, I think it's that, like, a lack of liquidity, but maybe more people with more enthusiasm for the action. Like, I think Avalanche people are more bullish on Avalanche than ETH people are bullish on ETH. So you have people just like, I don't know. I've always loved like startup culture. I loved being on Clubhouse last year when it was all kind of most of the people I was talking to were brand new, and there's just some energy that comes into something brand new that is very encouraging to me. And then like I had breakfast with Gary Vee, and he had a big thing about like he went to these early conferences on the internet, and it was like at first there were 1,000 people or 2,000, and then it was maybe enough for a convention center, but then a couple years later it was like impossible to know everyone on the internet. And he kind of said, right now you have a chance to know almost everyone within NFTs or close to it if you put in the work to network in a way that like 5 years from now when there's 1 million people in all of these blockchains, or more than there are now, it's just going to be really hard to know everyone. And so I think Avalanche is cool in the sense of like, I mean, I'm in the DMs with the founder of Avalanche. Like
Yeah, he's a fan of your stuff, obviously. I've seen you got some love from him.
Yeah, he's given me several tweets and all this, but he's also was, jumped in my DMs, and I just sent him a drawing, like a custom drawing with a triangle with for it.
I saw that.
Saying like isn't gonna be up in my DMs like talking to me. He's not gonna have.
So you're a big guy. Hold up, Gabe. You got some influence here. I had no clue. So you're a big guy, huh? I have no clue. So who are we talking to? Gabe is bigger than I thought. So you're getting attention from the founder of AVAX here?
Yeah, Gabe's huge.
Yeah, dude. I had no idea either. I looked him up yesterday and went, "Oh my god, how did we pull this off?"
I did no research. I just, I just popped in and I'm finding this all out now.
Hey, it shouldn't be a surprise. Crypto Lamb is obviously one of the biggest podcasts on the internet. Everybody knows this.
Everyone knows it.
Gabe, I've been geeking out over your stuff for at least 2 or 3 weeks.
Your stuff is absolutely mind blowing. I'm not going to sit here and claim to know anything about art, but I'm loving everything that I'm looking at so far. So hats off to you, dude.
Really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not. It's weird because like people know me on ETH, and I mean there's Fewocious and Beeple maybe, but like other than that, like as far as like I've been in 1 million pictures with everyone, and I am pretty famous as far as NFT artists go. Like if I go to a convention, I get mobbed sort of thing. But I mean, it's all brand new for me. I'm sitting in my garage. I'm like a community organizer at heart. So like, it's like coming in, it's like this weird balance of being like, I'm humble, but I'm also a big deal, but I'm humble, but like care enough ecosystem that I'm here and know that I'm a big deal, but I'm also like someone you can talk to, and I'm not a dick about any of this stuff.
Well, that's got to be pretty cool, though, to be able to walk down the street and not get mobbed, but then you go to where your people are, and you can be that for a little while.
It's pretty fun, yeah. I will say, like, yeah, I can walk down the street easily in the Bay Area without being known. So that's
for
awesome.
now, anyway.
Yeah, just wait until you start seeing your art as people's tattoos. Like you're walking down the street, and some guy's got something this big across his back or something.
Oh my gosh, I'd love a Gabe Weiss tramp stamp that I get to see on a big hairy guy.
Hey, I'm getting that on the lower back. It's happening.
I mean, I've been on hundreds of tattoos. If you go look on my IG, there's a bunch. But for the most part, I just put it when it's like attractive women that tattoo it on them. But it's probably more men on average that get the tattoos, but I just don't want to post like hairy guy thighs or whatnot on my IG.
Listen, everyone likes a dad bod, all right? Okay.
Hey, listen,
For the hairy side men.
it's a corner of the market that hasn't been taken yet. You might be onto something there, dude.
There we go.
I'm going to get my Conscious Lines tattoo right next to my Demon Girl tattoo from Legion of Soul.
I'm working on my website right now, and I'm gonna have like a tattoo ticket essentially, which is essentially just if people are friendly enough to give me some money if they did it tattooed. Because right now, I mean, a lot of times people will just get it and then be like, "Here, I got it tattooed." So this is just like a little like you gave me a little something for it.
And so they actually get to own something that's unique on their body, not something that they stole.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a ticket. I don't know. I don't It's such an honor when anyone tattoos something on them. Like, just to be clear, I have 0 tattoos. I'm a delicate flower. I don't think I could handle all of that needles and whatnot. But so if people want to have my art on them permanently for life, it's just hard to ever say no.
Hey, Trek, what about Legion of Soul? Are there any talks of any of our folks getting some demon tattoos?
Yeah, I don't think we're that cult like yet, but I mean, I would be honored if someone got a tattoo because I'm right there with Gabe. I am no tattoos on my body. Don't plan on getting any tattoos. I'm delicate flower as well. But yeah, if someone got a tattoo, shoot, I would probably reward them because it's almost like an honor. That's like the first one who gets a Legion tat is honestly like it's the ultimate. Like that's the ultimate. Like yeah, I'm putting this babe on my arm. I'm gonna look at it every day till I die type thing. That's the ultimate honor. You don't gotta ask my permission, but yeah, I would love that. We're not there yet though.
I think I've just found a money-making scheme here. I'm going to start getting some tattoos. I'll hit you up after the call, guys, and we'll work out some business deals.
There we go.
Hey, Trek, I wanted to ask you, sorry, I saw you just muted again. Tell us a little bit about the staking that you've got going on at the website. I noticed that you token that's fire, you've got Legion staking, and then you've got other collections that people are staking on the Legion site. Like what is it now and where are you kind of going with all these?
I'm glad you asked. So we finally get to the meat of the discussion for Legion. So this is what Legion is all about. So you could view Legion as like the umbrella of everything. So we're a Solana contract provider, smart contract provider, whether it be we're launching a coin flip contract soon, so other projects will be able to use that for them, or they'll be able to go through our website. And staking is the heart of it all. So we have all the farms that all get publicity by going to our website, getting boosted rewards through our fire, and they get the benefit of cheaper fees and all those good things. The benefit to us and our stakers is that every single farm we onboard, every vault created is a one-time fee for a user. I think it's 25 cents. Just have like 10 to 20 NFTs to stake. That's like, another like 5-7 cents that Legion gets. And that's distributed to our stakers every month as like a dividend by your percent stake. So that's really the heart of the ecosystem. So once we're adding a coin flip and most likely a roulette table as well to, you have your farms tab, marketplace tab, there'll be like a little casino tab. So the idea with building out staking, having 100 farms on our website, all these projects organically going to our website, no shills, just pure organic traffic the way you would want it. And now they're going to see, wow, these people have profit share. If you hold their NFT, I'm getting 70% of these farms, and there's 100 farms on here. They have a casino, and 4% of the wins gets redistributed to the holders every month. Like that's the vision, that we have this incredible 10K collection that can allow people access to our ecosystem on a large scale, get a piece of the pie, whether you're coming in for the airdrops, whether you're coming in for the fire, whether you're coming in for profit share, whether you're coming in for the art.
there's so much stuff for you to gravitate to, and staking is the heart of it, because the more we add, the more our stakers earn, the more exposure every project gets, and it's a win-win for nearly everybody.
Sorry, you touched on this a little bit, but I would like for you to go into a little bit more explanation. You're actually sending part of a profit share, or what is it out to all of your stakers and holders? Like, I saw that you have kind of a distribution schedule that we were discussing. Talk to me about that. Why do I get sold just for buying some demons?
Not just for buying, so you have to be staked
Okay.
in our farm system. That's why we have so many people staked, among one of the reasons. And where the money comes from is farms. So each farm we onboard at a bare minimum at the current market price is 2.5 SOL, which is, I think we have at around $100, I think. And you can skip the line as well. Few projects have paid a premium to $200 or $300 to skip the line. All these initial onboarding fees are redistributed to stakers. This is profit share for them. And then on top of that, each farm generates, I mean, during this stream alone, we've generated like, I think 20 or 30 new vaults, 100 new NFTs staked. This is passive income. Every single user for every single farm, all of those fees get redistributed to only Legion stake. So that's the how and where all that money comes from, how it gets redistributed. 70%, 30% found sustainability, obviously. And the casino is 100% all of the profit to stakers. This is where the money comes from. And on top of that, for more residual passive income staking, our Fire token, the utility token, right now we give as a Genesis bonus to early projects onboarded for giving us a chance and rocking Legion. But a month from now, 2 months from now, when those rewards run out for those projects who have seen a lot of upside from using our token reward, will now have to come back to us, because we don't charge a recurring payment for the farm. Our service is permanent. But if you want to get that Fire boost farm, well, now you got to come back to us, and you got to talk money again. So the more farms we add, this machine we have going really has a lot of room to scale, especially on Solana. When you're talking, there's 15,000 collections on here, and like there's 1,000 collections that are active every single day. So when you look at it that way, yeah, the vision we have here and what we're building, it's there, and our holders are very excited, especially the stake. That's how the money.
And so basically, as a holder, it's almost like I own part of the stock in the casino.
That is exactly how we advertise it. We advertise it as like a dividend. It's not a everyday pay. It's not to promote a degenerate. It's supposed to be, yes, if I'm staking this Legion, I'm getting actual stake. I'm a owner of a casino. I'm a shareholder of a casino, of their farms, and I get my distribution every month by your percent stake. That's how it works. And our wallet, the Legion wallet that does some sweeps sometimes, stuff like that, has never ever staked demons. So all of those NFTs staked are actual holders, and that gets 100 distributed.
I wanted to ask you and Echelon, what are your thoughts on projects sweeping their own floors? I read something yesterday, and some people weren't fans of it. Some people didn't like it. I think it's a great way for a community to control its own destiny. But what are your thoughts on community sweeping their own floor, or projects sweeping their own floors?
Trek, you don't mind if I go off with that? If I start?
Oh, of course, you can jump in. I can respond to what you said.
Yeah, I threw that tweet out yesterday because I've been seeing projects sweep their floor, right? And I don't see no problem with that if you're honest and transparent on what the goal is. Because I mean, one, right? People get to liquidate. So if people don't want to be in a project or they want to make their flip, you sweep it, you give them that flip that they want, and you keep the NFT. But I mean, it's what's the intention after you do that? Now, if you're trying to highlight, like, yeah, we're trending, our project made this amount of volume yesterday, but you done bought 70% of them. I mean, like you essentially artificially manipulated your floor. So highlighting that, I don't essentially like that part of it. Now, if you're doing it in a good cause, maybe for giveaways, or maybe you're gonna burn the supply, then I'm keen to it. Then go for it. But do not try to highlight it like there's people that came into your project, bought all of these NFTs when it essentially was you. And what it then does is you're trying to like highlight that people are buying it, so more people come in and buy on top of you. I just think it's a weak manipulation tactic. So that's my only gripe with the situation. But I don't have a problem with it if you're buying some of your NFTs. I mean, essentially, it's your project and you believe in it, so why not? And if you're giving it away to people to onboard them, then that's cool. So that's kind of my answer.
Yeah, the same mindset. Yeah, so I totally don't agree with sweeping up our floor. We've definitely done it 3 or 4 times, but we're totally transparent about it to build up our DAO. We're a collection of 10K, and our DAO has like 120, I think. There's, I think, like 80 holders who have more than our DAO. And we've given, it's not the intent to sell, it's to do collaborations and grow our holders. That's why we get them. So, yeah, if the intent's there and you're transparent about it, I absolutely don't have an issue. But if your intent is to, oh shit, our floor is dipping down, we have to go into our treasury funds to keep this floor up and then tell people to buy it, yeah, that's totally screwy. It depends on what the intention is, and it's not sustainable. You can't buy your floor forever. It's stupid.
Right. Yeah, and that, like you said, man, it's good for collaboration. If you want to reward your whales, your OGs with an extra one that really like it, that's cool. You know what I mean? I don't like when that stuff is getting highlighted when it's you doing that. And I've been seeing that recently. Not to say names, but I've seen a few people done that on Avalanche, and I'm like, it's not cool. I'm not keen to that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if they're doing it for just pure market manipulation, like you say, it's not really on. But, if it's done in the right way, like you said, transparent, then I'm all for it. It's a funny thing, isn't it? It's got to be done right.
Yeah, I mean, like Trek said, right? Like as project owners and like people like dev teams, I'm pretty sure we bought our own NFTs for the reason we bought them, but potentially essentially like me and Trek, and I can speak for Trek because I follow them very hard too. Is every NFT I bought for my project, I didn't gave it to somebody to onboard them into the community, or I done a giveaway in the Discord, or I gave it to an OG or something like an extra one. Like if like a Punk, for instance, we'll sweep it off the floor. It's 4 AVAX right now. We'll take that and we'll do a giveaway to make a new OG, so they could start staking their Punk when we enable staking and things like that. So that's the intention on why we sweep our floor. It isn't. We don't post about it like, yeah, we're trending right now on Campfire, or look how much volume we got this day. No, we don't do that at all.
Fizz, I just wanted to give you a warning. I have to be on another Twitter Spaces at 9. So
hey, yeah, I was going to send you a message telling you that you could roll whenever you needed to.
Well, before you do,
last question or.
Well, I was just going to ask you a question. I'm aware that you need to go. Thanks so much for being with us in the first place. I really appreciate it, dude. So it was just somebody on YouTube that actually asked the question, and I didn't notice it, which is why I didn't ask it before. And it's from somebody called Steven, who says, has Gabe spoken to any ETH collectors who are following him over to AVAX for the Lines collection?
So yeah, my top collector is a guy CL7. I think he's one of the top 3 to 5 NFT collectors in the world. Talked to him. He's like, Avalanche has NFTs, and then he's like, he's not very for as many NFTs as he owns, he's not very tech savvy. He's like, send me what you have, and that's like one of the things I put out yesterday on Twitter. Like, give me some better onboarding stuff. This other whale's this woman who I met at Ape Fest in NYC, and she's really on board. A couple other people. I've been I've been talking about it quite a bit, but I will say the onboarding isn't the easiest so far, just from a sense of like, I talked to some guys who are working on it now, but like OpenSea has an NFT Bible, and I'd love to just have an Avalanche NFT Bible that I just send to people, because like I every minute that I spend being an IT guy is just such a wasted minute on my end.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I feel a little bit like a canary in the coal mine in the sense of I don't know what the price discovery is. I don't know if there's a community enough to buy it here. I know that my ETH collectors, if they come in later and they see stuff $500 below what they get on ETH, they'll probably scoop up quite a bit, if I had to guess. But a little chicken or the egg, but I'd like to see, I guess, what Avalanche does, and I do think there'll be a few collectors early on that come in on the mint side, but I do think on the secondary side is probably where you'll see more of my collectors. If it's successful, I'll start, hyping it a lot more. If it's not, just keep quiet.
Stephen just said, I think OpenSea also just added Avalanche as a test net. So it'd be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, it definitely will be interesting, and seeing if we can kind of keep the value up, I guess, on an Avalanche NFT.
Thanks very much
Gabe,
for answering that.
thank you so much for joining us. Does anybody else have anything for Gabe before he's continue on his magical mystery tour?
I have a question.
Oh, I just want mine quick. Thanks for coming, man. I'm glad I met you. Try to check out Legion of Soul. Can you, before you head out, what's your project's names again, like your big ones? I do want to look into them, or drop the links in this Discord so you can check them out.
Yeah, so it's the Stoics with the Stoic NFT on Twitter, and that's the big one for ETH. That's 5K, and then Conscious Lines is the one that's going to drop on Joe Pegs on August 25th.
Alrighty, well, I'm trying to find your Twitter. If you can put the link in the Discord, I'm going to follow it, all that good stuff. I'm definitely interested to follow you.
Cool. Do you mind? Can someone do that here?
Yeah, we can take care of that.
Awesome.
Are you going to ask the question, Priest?
Yes, we have one question that we ask every guest. Priest, go.
Gabe, if you could take yourself and your project and you could relate them to a fruit, which fruit would it be and why?
Mango, because they're delicious.
Hey, that was the quickest anybody's answered that question. There we go. I love it.
Awesome. Appreciate everyone here, and thanks for taking the time to listen to me.
Thanks for coming, man.
Thanks for taking the time to come on.
You.
As I will just say, if in this next week, I'm not a lobbyist, community organizer in me is like never afraid to ask for help. So anything you can help me do to promote either of the collections over the next 3 weeks, the next week for Conscious Lines, 6 days, and then 3 weeks out for Stoics, just know I would appreciate it, and I tend to be pretty good at repaying favors.
Well, very. Oh, sorry, Fizz. Spoke over you then.
No, I was just saying we will most certainly spread our excitement for your work everywhere that we can.
I was just going to say, so thank you very, 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 very much for spending your time with us. A very valuable time, as you got to be everywhere at the same time. Please check out our website, cryptolam.live/partners, and see what you think of that. And you're welcome back anytime, dude. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'd love to talk to you after the mint.
All right, sounds like a plan.
When the floor is 100 AVAX.
Yeah, right.
Success, Gabe.
Thank you so much. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Wow, what a cool guy. I mean, I knew from his work that he was a neat guy, but then getting to visit with him for the past hour and a half like we have, I learned a lot. And yeah, Gabe's kind of a big deal.
Holy shit! That was probably the most famous person we've had on like probably crypto space, right?
I mean, quite possibly. I think I'm more jealous of him more than anything else, purely because he's getting to go on the Vomit Comet. That's like a kind of secret dream of mine. So yeah, I'm super jealous of that.
I think that's also one of the happiest people I've ever met in crypto.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah,
Trek,
he definitely was a cool dude. I think he'll pull it off, man. I mean, if you're looking at AVAX, right, at a USD value, it's only like what? Like he's selling them for $120. I think it's definitely doable. Like yesterday, Tap Tap Kaboom, and that's another artist I want to see y'all get up here. You know, he's pretty popular. Adobe shouted him out as well. And, you know, he was selling pieces yesterday for 5 AVAX. You know, he was selling pieces for 5 AVAX and it sold out in like 30 seconds. So I don't think Conscious Line will have a problem at all.
Yeah, no, without a doubt, he'll do
No, I
really
don't
well.
think we'll make it past whitelist.
yeah, I already talked to my wife. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna have to buy that. Sorry, yo.
Yeah.
Well, I'm selling the
Yeah.
Kawasaki.
Well, Trek, tell us a little bit more. Let's talk about Solana a little bit more. What are I agree with you that Solana is a great chain for NFTs. I agree with you that Phantom is probably the best app that I've used, or the best wallet app that I've used to view my NFTs. What tell us about the NFT space in Solana? What direction do you see it going? What part of do you want for your project to have and all of that? Just kind of lay out the future for us that you see happening in Solana.
Well, I think Solana is going through like what ETH is kind of going through, the bear market cycle, where you have a really polarizing market. You have the quote unquote blue chips who got the liquidity early and have hype and are slowly losing it and trying to figure out how to keep it. Then you have a lot of people like myself and my partner who are trying to build from scratch, and there is a market for it. It just gets overshadowed by the mass amount of degen mints, free mints, and rug pulls in Solana, because there's so much. It's like there's so much excitement here still. So the direction I see it is these degen mints, these free mints, they're slowly dying off as this market matures. And I think Solana is a great place to be if you have serious intentions for NFTs and building like a business. That's your goal for your project or something like that, because there's so much you could do on this chain. And once it matures and once we see the big boys and the real people rise, I think Solana is going to be the spot for NFTs. Maybe not for DeFi, and they're trying really hard to get developers to build DeFi applications and stuff, but I still don't think they're there yet. I think they're there with NFTs. They're ahead of everybody in NFTs, and yeah, they're just in a maturing state. They're trying to lock hold their business.
Oh, seem to have lost you,
Oh,
Dolan.
sorry, I actually had muted my microphone, Andy. Well, guys, I have asked about all of the questions that I had today, but I know that we've still got plenty of things to talk about.
Yeah.
So I have a question because
go ahead.
he asked me something. He asked me about, and this is something that Trek just brought up. So I think this is kind of related. Trek, do you think that there is a market for there to be people who know what to look for potential scams to help out the communities as they grow? Because I know E was looking for that with AVAX, and I know a lot of the people from Harmony have had a tremendous amount of experience of. We've already gone through a lot of the shit that people are starting to go through, and like we know what to look for. So we're not saying that like we want to join every chain or anything like that, but like, do you think there is a market for that? Because like I said, he was looking for something along those lines for AVAX, and I'm not saying that I am the most knowledgeable person. I think Villains is like probably the number one person for that. Shout out Harmony Villains on Twitter. He's a validator on Findora and Harmony. He's also like, he makes it his job to like look up scams and publicly post why those people are douchebags, or what they've done wrong, right? Like, and I think that you're lobbying for something along those lines to come to Solana to try to help them. Am I wrong? Trek?
Are you there, Trek, or have we lost you?
Oh, was my mic muted? Well, yeah. Sorry. I
It's all
totally
good, dude.
spaced out. That last part you said I was totally spaced out. Can you repeat it?
All good, bro. Enjoy your coffee. I understand. My question for you was: is the Solana community looking for people to try to help educate community members on what to look for
You spicing my
potential
brain back
scams?
up. I got it. Yeah, I think I was alluding to this earlier that it's kind of crazy. And I've been in building on Solana for 4 months now, our project. And one thing that has standed out to me is how resilient these people are and how much they partake in rug pulls over and over and over again, conscious, like not even about education. It's like kind of just like, oh, I'm gonna throw the dice at this one, you know, and it's almost like a culture for these people, and I don't like it. I actually don't like that culture, but it's kind of big here. So for Solana specifically, like I don't know if like the lion's share of the market yet is there yet. Like they need to make sure, like in this ecosystem, if a community rugs, sometimes they'll be like, ha ha, you got rug pulled, and like go for the next one is what I'm saying. Like the culture here is totally different what you would expect, honestly. And this is why Solana's so resilient. You would see like, oh, they got quote unquote hacked, they get all these bad press and headlines. These people are super degen on this space, and kind of like what Mike was saying is that ETH has a lot of liquidity. They mooned. It's the same with Solana, man. You got to remember, people bought in at Solana at 50 cents, $1, $2, and Solana went to $250. Like these people are rolling in liquidity, so they're allowed to be degen, and it's less stressful in the sense that when liquidity is there, because when the market dips 1 or 5%, they just buy more. They believe in Solana. They've already made millions on it. And it's different than when you're on a chain that hasn't had that moon yet, and you didn't have tens of thousands of early investors make millions of dollars with like Solana, Ethereum, Coin, even XRP, like chains like that.
So I just asked Fizz in the Discord if we're doing a giveaway today. Could you tell us a little bit about that, and then we can maybe get it started? You're muted.
Are we talking to me for a giveaway?
I was
Trent, can you see the screen? I've got one of my demons that I'm giving away to one of our viewers today, and I was wondering if you could see the demon that Andy put up on the screen and tell us anything about it.
I'm looking at your screen. Are you sharing it, or do I? Oh, let me get the Twitch link. You have it on the Twitch link?
I posted it in the Discord chat. It's the same one he's got up.
Oh, all right. I see it right now. That one. So you wanted what I think about it, or some context on the attributes?
Yeah, give us some context on it.
Yeah, so this one is a fairly common demon. The Fireball attribute is one of the more popular attributes. But besides that, I wish you picked out a cooler one. Shoot, I could contribute a rarer demon to talk about that have some traits with a little bit more lore to them.
Yeah, go ahead. I was actually going to put some more up to talk about, but this was the one I was going to give away.
Yeah, that's a basic boy. Shoot, I want a viewer to get a little bit more spicy of one. We got some ones with some really cool traits.
You got one
and
you want to?
Some of the traits have lore to them.
Do you have one you want to load up in the chat?
Yeah. Let me go ahead and scroll through our marketplace here. I could find a pretty cool one. Oh yeah, so this one, for example.
And you see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, Trek, you're about to buy one off the floor and give it away, right?
Oh, well, not buy it off the floor. I'm just looking at one, for example, for a photo in the chat that I'm referring to. Posted one. Yeah, this one, we have one that like an attribute called like the Ronin hat. This one that attribute, pretty sure it's Japanese or Chinese. Bushido, he's from the East, my cousin, and he could tell you. I'm pretty sure one of them is like death entering hell, and the right side is translated to some other really cool thing that he's building out for our next airdrop. The lore to this, and we have trades scattered around the collection, like this one, that are really rare and kind of hint to our future airdrops we're doing, angel collection and stuff.
So it's now being displayed on the screen. Many thanks for putting that up for us. That is absolutely awesome. So I think the best way to give this away is through the raffle. /dot. No, it's not that word that you said. The word you said is something else. Google that at your own risk. So let's let's give this away to some lucky viewer. If you're over on YouTube, then you're going to need to come over to twitch.tv/CryptoLam and get into the chat here. That is the only way that you can do it. You also have to be following as well in order to be able to use the chat. When it starts, and it's not started yet, but when it starts, all you need to do is type !raffle into the chat and you will get a ticket to win this epic NFT. So first thing I'm going to do is just set it up, and I need to put the right information on that, and it will be live in the Twitch chat in just a couple of minutes. And also, if you've got any questions, guys, make sure you put them in the chat so we can read those out.
So while we're waiting on the folks to come over for Oh, sorry, Trick. While we're waiting for folks to come on over, why don't you tell us a little bit about the angels that are coming out?
Definitely. Right before the angels, the one you did put up for giveaway, the one with the blue background, that's called the Bushido body. So that one's actually named after our artist. That attribute, that one you're picking for the giveaway, that one's a great one to pick out. Just saying that if you zoom in on the details now, that one's one of my favorite attributes. Great choice, and details to the angel collection. So yeah, that one's going to be a collection to 1 to 2,000 women angels. They're going to try to be a little bit leaning towards, the sexier side of things. Not going to get too explicit with the details, but yeah, they're going to be pretty and nice to look at. And the first preview of one is going to be Raziel, her name, Raziel the Angel, and that's going to be in our airdrop with the disarticulated skeleton collection, Scully's project I mentioned earlier. We're doing an airdrop for our holders, air holders. From there, you'll see your first preview of an angel. And then I would expect late September, maybe mid-September, or even early October, somewhere in that time frame, we're holding the mint for the. So that's a little bit of detail. And that's going to be in fire. Oh, how could I leave that out? Yeah, so the
I was about to say that there's kind of another detail that you're leaving out there, Trek.
And that mint is exclusively in fire. So that really, really boosts the value of the OG collection, the Demon collection, 10,000. We base all of the utility back to that profit share, all of those things. You have to have the OG. Now, angels will have their own set of benefit. They'll have their own farm with a fire yield, giving more fire than an OG demon because it's a scarcer collection. You have to mint it with fire, and it will have its own benefits that we haven't disclosed yet. One I can is a boosted farm. So our D Scully collab with that airdrop, the Angel collection, they won't just give fire. They could give token dust, token skull, which provide LP, which you could sell on the market in Solana. So our farms, those collections are going to have even more utility, a different utility, not better or worse, just different utility than the OG collection. And those are all minted with.
So what is some of your long-term plans for the utility of fire?
Well, if we could bolster enough liquidity, I mean, after months of growing, we have 100 projects, casinos out, the treasury's thick, like we could sustain anything. At that point, it could make sense for us to consider a liquidity pool for the fire token and start giving it an actual monetary value on top of it. But we're really not in a rush to do something like that at the moment because the ecosystem doesn't really need it, in my opinion, with how we currently have it, providing the utility for fire, whether it be through raffles, whether it be through merch, whether it be through our marketplace, and whether it be through minting other collabs. We think it's less Ponzi in that sense. And if you want to earn a profit share, you have to stake. And that revenue comes from not secondary market, which isn't sustainable. It comes from our services we provide the ecosystem. So fire is more of it's a chip to our project that gives it more value, and we're able to leverage it out to other projects, give them more value, and it's kind of like a cycle. That's how I view the fire.
Will fire have any use in the casino?
So that's also a good question. So we did want to keep the casino SOL only because, one, we don't want people gambling the fire. We aren't going to be profiting as founders from the gambling, and we want it to be, you don't even have to necessarily be a holder. Again, we are going to have a lot of traffic on our website, hundreds of farms at one point. So the idea is when people are bored from all these other projects, they just got done staking, they can do small bets, $5 bet, $10 bet, fair odds, 50-50 odds, but the winnings are 4% taxed. And that would be the coin flip game, first one coming out. And that's really the idea of it, is having a lot of people come to our website for staking in our ecosystem, and then casino is just something that's there, kind of like a fun little thing for you to do if you're bored.
That sounds really awesome, man. It's something I'm going to get in on for sure. Does anybody else have any other questions right now?
I do got a question for Trek.
Please.
Can we get some alpha? Thank you, sir.
Jeez, how much more alpha? All right, well,
I gotta squeeze it out of you, Trek. Go.
You're getting all the alpha today.
so we do have I don't know what you want to call it, but we're gonna be now. I don't know. All right, well, we're gonna be working with another project called Plague Doctors, and we have a lot of stuff coming from them, and we're making formal announcements. Another project on Solana, and we're gonna be growing both communities that way. We have collab with Egoverse. That one's going to be dope with E. I don't want to get into too much details on that one. And we also have two independent artists, Harold Rath and Sheriff Solanaverse, in our community, who are working on independent art collections. Going to probably do a fire mint for some of them, an OG whitelist for our holders. And that's the short term. And once staking is built out, running on its own, casinos out, we've always planned on having a launch pad as well. So once our brand is so big, so many people are using us, the trust is there, and we're a giant brand in Solana, we're then going to be helping projects incubate and launch on Solana their projects, help them get sellouts, whole 9. So that's really, Legion isn't going anywhere. It's really, the end goal for Legion is to be very, very big, and everything in the ecosystem just festers on itself. It's just, that's the idea for it. Just growing others while growing us. I just feel like it's the ultimate model.
So in other words, my bad, Andy, real quick. So in other words, you're saying holding your demon and staking and getting your fire, there's going to be a whole lot of shit we can expect. That's what you're saying right now.
Yeah, on top of that, plus a monthly dividend. 31st, you get a dividend every month of our profit from staking fees and from the casino out. Right now, we've already gotten about, Solana's gone down like 15%. It was looking around $4,000 in fees in about an onboarding days, 20 days. And that's just with like 4 or 5 projects.
Wait. I had a question. I'm sorry. Fizz, why the fuck did you not tell me this part of the shit when in any part? You're like, oh, this looks really cool. I'm like, yeah, it looks really cool, man. But like, we're Harmony Project. We're fucking broke. I would have asked my wife if I could have bought one, if I would have understood the implications. You are such a bastard.
When I
We're
told
still
you I
really entry
minted
level.
13 of the, when I said I minted 13 of them, what part of that did you think that I wasn't encouraging you to do it?
Yeah, but we're still entry level. Shoot, 0.3 Sol is our floor right now. I mean, yeah, that's 3x from mint, but it's still entry level for anybody. And like that, what is that, 12, $15? I'm not even sure what that is.
It's
Yeah,
still
it's
a
not
deal.
that expensive to get hold in what we're offering and what's coming. It's
I mean,
actually,
for
I'd
everybody,
say it's an extreme discount.
For everybody watching, I mean, you know, obviously do your own research and be responsible and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. But it's like, you know, we haven't had Legion and Echelon and Gabe and everybody else come on here for any sort of payment. This is literally just them coming on to tell us about a project. And then most of the time when these people come on, we find out how awesome they are and how awesome their project is on the spot. We find out at the same time as you guys. I mean, obviously we do some initial research and stuff like that, but we find out just as you find out. So this alpha is just as fresh to us as it is to you. So I'm going to be sweeping some floors today, I think. I'm not going to sleep on it, that's for sure. So yeah, this this is amazing.
Yeah, there's time to get in as well. So 31st is the payment. 5% staked. So right now it's about 80 Sol coffer now for payment. It's still growing. Payment distributed the first. And yeah, it's 5% staked. So right now, if you have some super whales, those people are expecting if you hold staking like 300 or more, there's two holders that 300 keys, man. Staking those people are going to be getting like 4 or 5 Solana just from the profit share, and they're already up on 300 NFTs threefold, and they're getting profit share on top of it. And it's really hard for me to say that this is our ceiling because, in my humble opinion, this is just the scratch of the surface. Like, once people start seeing the influence we have on Solana, how many people are using our contract for staking, we are going to be getting talked about for free. We don't have to pay a dime because everyone who are using for staking, oh yeah, we're using Legion, you have to go to their website, blah, blah. It's just hard for me to see us stay at $15 for this long. I only see it going up. And our holders aren't going away anytime soon. We have I think we have over 100 people collectively who are hold 50 or more individual of our Legion Sol NFTs. 100 different people, and some of them haven't even listed one throughout this whole entire time. 2% listed.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, for there to be 10,000 in the collection, I mean, there's not just a huge choice on the secondary market.
They're stubborn, I'm telling you. No, people are really stubborn with them, and they're holding out. A lot of people are holding out because we have DAOs coming. That's alpha. That's alpha. So we have the Babe DAO. So if you go to Magic Eden, shoot, you know, the demons with the sexy babes, you're not going to find those cheap. I think those are one I'm looking right now. I'm scrolling. Yeah, they're not anywhere near the floor, man. Those things are like 1 Sol or higher all day. And yeah, those have benefits. You get an exclusive chat, exclusive giveaways nearly every single day, usually over $50, $60 in value every single day for these Babe giveaways. And yeah, the next one coming is going to be the LSD background. If you look at Magic Eden, I'm scrolling through right now. Scrolling through the floor, I really haven't even been talking about that one much, and I can't even find one for cheaper than 1 Sol. The LSD background, profile picture. Yeah, so those ones have DAO benefits, and yeah. Oh, I found a Babe one for 1.25 Sol. Yeah, these things, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The rare ones, people are diamond handing them, and the ones on the floor are people trying to tell you, like, you better get these or, no, you're SOL, basically.
So what are some of the rarest traits that folks need to be looking for right now? Like you're telling us some alpha now, but I've seen one with a really killer kimono on it, I think.
I'm looking through. So the rarest traits are the crown, Bushido body, the venom mouth, the one with the really big tongue. That one's on the floor for 0.3. That one's a 1% rarity or a 2% rarity, that tongue. Really badass tongue. all of the hell backgrounds, the ones that aren't just a basic color or colors, that have lore, there's only 200 of each of those backgrounds. Those are extremely rare and really good. And yeah, those are good ones. Top Hat, 1% rarity. The Solana cap is a 1% rarity. The Joker face is 2.5% rarity. Ronin hat is 1% rarity. There's a lot of really good rare traits all over.
All right, how does somebody get however I fucking buy this shit? Like, how do I do this? Clearly, I'm not on Solana. How the fuck do I do this? Because you're talking about all the first ones, and I'm out on the walk with the baby, and I'm like, oh man, I'm about to run inside and race the goddamn viewers for this shit. Damn it.
How would you get into like the Solana ecosystem to buy?
Bingo. How would I get Solana? How can I do that? Like, what centralized exchanges can I use?
It's super easy. This is actually another reason why I love Solana. So can I talk for an American, like United States point of view?
Go for it.
Yeah. So from that point of view, it's the easiest one to onboard because screw a centralized exchange. What do all of your retail friends use? They probably use Robinhood. You could withdraw Solana within 1 hour, like from Robinhood, from the stock trading app. You could buy it on Robinhood. You don't even need to mess with a crypto account. So yeah, let's say you're not even in crypto and you're in America. Go on Robinhood, some Solana, and withdraw it to a Phantom wallet. You'd have to download a Phantom wallet. It's free from iOS or the Google Play Store if you're on mobile. Yeah, it takes about 30 seconds, and you can buy it on Robinhood, an app you're already native to. Coinbase, Binance if you're crypto already. But I would recommend Robinhood if you're not in NFTs space in general, because that's what you're familiar with. You get a Phantom wallet, and you type in magiceden.io. You put the Solana from Robinhood on your Phantom wallet. You're good to go. Once you buy an NFT, or you go to Magic Eden, you type in Sol, collection comes up. When you buy an NFT from there, it instantly pops up in your wallet, list it to trade. From there, really anybody could do it. It's very easy. That's pretty much it.
Nice.
Yeah, but like, what if I don't want to put like any more fiat into the marketplace? Let's say I have other crypto. Which ones did you say were usable for trading there? I'm sorry.
Binance, Coinbase, KU Coin.
I was just going to say, in terms of a decentralized exchange, there is one that I've used a few times. I can't vouch for it in its entirety, but in terms of decentralized exchange that works quite well is one called letsexchange.io. And you can literally go from any other crypto that you hold directly into Solana so that you can then put that in the Phantom wallet. So it's letsexchange.io. It works very well for me.
Yeah, that's way better alpha than me. I'm not good for those types of questions. Yeah, like I actually, I've been in this space for years, but I try not to mess with anything I'm not like 100% sure of. So yeah, like for stuff like that, I don't know how to really get DeFi away. I'm really trying to onboard people who sometimes haven't even been through the space. Like a lot of my friends personally who, trade stocks, they all use TD Ameritrade or Robinhood and maybe have a Coinbase, but Coinbase is like a chore for them. So that's why I always bring up Robinhood for Solana specifically. I know this is like Ethereum and AVAX. This is a giant benefit of, again, because they have retail exposure. You could buy Solana on Robinhood. Like I can't emphasize how huge that is and how many people actually do that. Don't underestimate how many people actually buy Solana on Robinhood. It's kind of, it's amazing. Like,
of course. I mean, there's so many others out there. There's so many others out there that you can use as well. Sir Ruggless, on average, put KuCoin FTX, Binance, and I'll add another one to that list as well, Bybit. So, there's plenty of locations that you can use. And Bybit as well, you don't need to do KYC unless you're moving more than 2 Bitcoin at a time per day, I believe.
Sheesh, that's a lot.
It is a lot. If anybody else has any more questions, we're going to be doing the outro in a minute. No, not BitBoy, Bybit. Jesus Christ. We're going to be doing the outro in just a few minutes here. If anybody has any more questions to go to the guys that are on the call right now, then please let me know in the chat, whether that's over on YouTube or whether that's on Twitch or anywhere else. We're going to go ahead and pick the winner. Fizz, could you just go ahead and mint? I'm getting some feedback. Mute, if you could mute for me, that'd be great. We're just going to pick a winner now for the giveaway for the NFT that is currently being displayed on screen, which is a demon. You will need to watch the stream back to hear more about this NFT. I don't see the sense in repeating ourselves, so it will be available on the YouTubes after. But we're going to go ahead and pick the winner now, and the winner is Nighthawk 2. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Nighthawk actually asked last time, when am I going to win? Well, the answer is today, Nighthawk. You have won. Congratulations, you have won that amazing NFT on screen. Fizz, how are they going to be able to redeem that? You need to unmute first.
We'll just need your Solana wallet, the address to a address that you have on Solana.
Yeah, so how can they reach out to you? Can they get you on Discord or?
Yeah. Let's see, who did we figure out who won?
Yeah, it was Nighthawk.
Can Nighthawk send us a message right now anyway?
Nighthawk, if you can either DM on Twitter or on Discord, or however would be easier for you to do it.
One thing, make sure you're not sending like a Binance Coinbase wallet. Make sure you're sending it to a decentralized wallet like Phantom or a Soulflare, something like that.
Yeah, make sure that you're using a wallet. Phantom's probably going to be the best way to do it. Not an exchange wallet. Nighthawks, just so you know.
Yeah, definitely go with Phantom. Just download.
So I'm curious, and unless we have any more questions coming in, Priest, Echelon, or Fizz, do you guys have any more questions to put in?
I don't. I'm out of questions for the day.
Yeah, I pretty much I talk with Trek like every day, man, and I've been tuned like a motherfucker with what he got going on. One thing I definitely will say is very active. He's a dev that's here. You can talk to him. He's accessible. He goes on shows. Stones is behind the scenes working, but Trek brings it out publicly on everything that he's doing, and Stones makes a presence. We can never give financial advice here, but however, it's definitely an intriguing, interesting project to look into. And if you want to diversify your portfolio, this is potentially a good project I'll recommend looking into. So shout out to Trek. Of course, shout out to Fizz, Andy. Shout out to my man Priest, always hosting the show. I fucking love it. We got to get the show to the moon. Everybody that's in the Twitch chat, I'm gonna need you to drop a fucking follow, or you need to go slap yourself if you don't. But I appreciate you guys today for having us and for hosting this wonderful fucking show. And you already know, anytime you need me as a fucking, you won't want me. I don't need me. If y'all want me as a guest, I'll be up here.
Always appreciate you, dude. You're an absolute legend. Thank you for the kind words, man. Do we want to go around the room and we'll do the outro in the way that we usually do, in the sense that we'll ask people to give us some words of wisdom. Before we do that, though, I have just been made aware that we haven't asked the question.
Yeah, we still got to ask Trek the question.
That's right.
Hey, Trek, if Legion of Soul were a fruit, what fruit would it be? Got another one.
Right?
Probably a strawberry. I don't know. Strawberry fruit?
It is. Well, it's a berry, but it's still technically a fruit. But why?
I don't know, man. To give you the honest truth on this one, I'm a vegetable guy. I don't eat too many fruits. If you ask vegetables,
no. It's got to be fruit. It's got to be fruit. No vegetables. No vegetables.
Man,
take a tomato.
I would say strawberries, because the demons are, they've been through a lot and they're in hell, so they need some strawberries here.
Some strawberries and cream. Yeah, I think we can add cream on that.
But
So-
on a personal note, I like the vegetables. If it were a vegetable, I would say like a carrot.
Okay.
Ooh, that may be another question right there. You got some one fruit, one vegetable next time.
Well,
One fruit, one vegetable.
yeah, maybe we could just say what fruit or vegetable, just to kind of broaden the horizons a little bit, because we've had nearly every fruit now. We've had even coconuts and pumpkins as well. So,
Oh my God.
yeah, we've had everything. I'm actually, instead of doing the typical outro where I start with the music and fade out, I'm actually going to play our promo video on the on the outro today. So if you haven't seen our promo video, stick around for it's just 2 minutes at the end of the broadcast, and you'll see that. And it kind of highlights a little bit, some of the answers that we've had to that question, and it always makes me laugh every single time. Yeah, so thanks for your answer there, man. Strawberry, awesome. Does anybody have anything to say? In fact, no, what we're going to do is we're going to go around the room, starting with Fizz, then Echelon, then Priest, then Trek. Give us some words of wisdom to end on, and then we will drop the call. Say goodbye as well once you've said your thing, and then we'll drop the call, and I will play the promo video, and that will be the end of the stream.
I will say that the market looks like a bloodbath today. So find yourself a good opportunity to get into something, define an exit point, and commit to it.
Echelon, you're next.
You never heard a tree grow. Let your success be your noise. Keep your head down, stay focused, and you was given that vision for a reason and not other people. So if you're being misunderstood and if people, are doubting what you're doing, I personally think you're doing something right. Stay focused. The black sheep eventually becomes the goat. So that's what I got to say to the people.
I like that. And Priest?
Well, if you have a place where you can plant something and grow something. If you don't have a place to plant something outside, plant something in your house. It's good to have something to take care of. That's not just your plant, your animals or your family. The plants are in an unjudging ear, and they like to be talked to. So grow something.
I like that. What about you, Trek?
Yeah, so whether you're a founder or just a regular person, what I could offer is to keep your head up and keep going. And if you believe in yourself all the time, that's really confidence is key. And to believe in yourself. Someone doesn't believe in you, you should believe in yourself 2 times more. And that's my.
Very nice. I like it. Say goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for everybody coming and watching us today. You are absolutely awesome. Make sure you check out our website, cryptolam.live, and even consider grabbing us a coffee as well. That'd be much appreciated. So thanks again, everybody. Say your goodbyes, guys.
Bye.
I need to go back to this stream so I can play the outro video for you guys. Check this out. It's only 2 minutes long.
Dude, it's all good. I feel refreshed, man. Water breaks are so necessary.
How about you give us an introduction and tell us what we have to look forward to today?
Juice, if you were a fruit, what fruit would you be?
A banana?
All right, so Ruggles, if you could relate yourself or your project, whichever one you want to go with, to a fruit, which fruit would it be and why?
Okay, I'll go with the Eagleverse and banana.
Why a banana, bro?
Because every time I speak with Echelon, it feels like I'm peeling one more piece of that banana, and it keeps getting better and better.
That sounds so
that
wrong.
Project is awesome. So every time you think you know it, you know everything about it, it just surprises you.
You're the kind of guy. You're the kind of guy that if you were sat in the same room, you'd be eating a banana and maintaining aggressive eye contact. That's the kind of
Forcing the entire thing into his mouth at once.
Yeah.
I think the thing that we'll focus on this week is making sure that you stretch.
I don't know. I reckon a coconut, a green one.
a green coconut. Okay, we've had coconut before, but not a green one. Why?
I don't know. You got to go through the hard stuff before you can get to the good stuff. So
Yeah, thanks for asking. I think I would say probably a mango is like a fruit that you think is like pretty good, but when you actually bite into it, you're like, oh, this is delicious and amazing. Because like I'm all about trying to make things fun, make things enjoyable, and maybe a little bit surprising. Like, you know, your own mentality can make such a big difference in your life, your positivity and stuff. And I really, really enjoy being in spaces with all the people here, the other spaces that I've been in, and learning from everybody. So I get really excited, and I hope other people do too.
Cracky.